And like the before shot of the vocal booth, it's insane. Like there's like so much construction behind it.
These words are valuable, they're special, heavy with intent. Diamonds dripping down, precious metals on a slow descent.
Hey guys, welcome to the studio. I wanted to do a studio tour today because I haven't done a while of this new studio and it's now a little more of a year old. I completely forgot to celebrate the 1 year existence of the studio because I was so busy promoting my new single Secrets. It's still in the Beatport charts, number 4, and 50,000 plays on Spotify. Thanks to all of you. If you're interested, I will link it down below. So a little more than a year ago, the opening took place, but I actually moved to the studio 3-4 months earlier to actually build this entire place, and it's impossible to describe how pumped I was to show you this entire space because it took like 3 months just to get all of the contracts right and actually make sure I'm allowed to move in here and actually build a studio in here. Plus, of course, all of the financial stuff because like this place is big. It's like 220 square meters, like 2 floors of an entire building. It's expensive. And the second I signed the contract, I wasn't even sure if I will be able to afford this place, but now a little more than a year later, everything's working fine. I've worked my ass off to actually keep this place and run this place, and the future looks really bright. So let's start the tour, but I will also mix in footage and photos of back in the days and while constructing, because I think like the change is so drastic that it's just crazy. I hope you all enjoy it. I already checked out some of the old footage and posted it on my Instagram and really enjoyed it because it shows how much work actually went into this place and how far I actually got. So let's start right here. That's the A studio. It's the biggest room in the studio. I'm right now using my huge speakers as a tripod. These are the Eves SC3012. They're massive. Next to them, everything just looks really, really small. Then we got here very new, still testing them by Audio Optimum MS8E. All of this is actually, of course, linked down below in the description. There's like an equipment section. Everything should be in there and hopefully also updated. Then we got the huge corner absorbers. Building them was a pain. They're like 100% absorbing. And what I love the most about the studio is actually the view right onto water. There's no way to describe how much this is actually worth, especially in a city that is that big. I mean, it's not New York, but it almost has like 1 million inhabitants, and getting space, like, and a lot of space and next to the water is like this was really the most luckiest thing that ever happened to me. Anyways, let's continue. We of course got on the other side the same speaker setup, all symmetric. The desk, I know a lot of you are still making fun of me that I don't have a proper desk. That's the only thing missing here in the studio, a nice desk. I'm still planning on building something myself, but still didn't have the time to. But something U-shaped to have all of the equipment around me and just being able to access it as fast as possible. We got here some special absorbers that have plates in them that pick up certain frequencies, more absorbing material all around the studio on every side. The Nectar Panorama T6 as a MIDI keyboard and also for like drum and faders, but I honestly just use it to play. A huge LG ultra wide screen, all run by my Mac. By the way, I just ordered the new Mac 16-inch. It's expensive, but I ordered it. It should arrive in a week or so. Then here, the first rack, this is part of the speakers. They have an external amp. These right here are very shitty reference speakers. These are the ones that most people buy on Amazon. We got here a Moco controller to switch between the speakers and adjust the loudness. And then of course here the big rack with a bunch of outboard stuff. 2 500 series with like compression, EQs, an SSL clone. Then we got here some nice preamps, and here is an EQ, compressor, mic input switcher, and the audio interface. And you know, I'm always being brutally honest here on this channel. I'm not using that stuff that much. It's for show. It looks good. A friend of mine gave it to me because he's not using it and he doesn't have the space for it. I have the space for it. I've tested it out. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it might sound a little bit different, but actually not better. You introduce a lot of noise, but then you get this vintage feel and character, but it's not worth it. It just takes too much time to run everything through it. So just the audio interface is in use 24/7. Then we got here the full Denon DJ Prime setup. 2 vinyl players, 2 media players, USB or streaming, very new. The Denon mixer, and then the same again on the other side. Here on the floor are my very old Yamaha HS8s, or 8, I think these are the 80Ms, the older version definitely. At the moment we're just using them as monitors. Here at the very back of the room we got another desk full with all of the vinyl, and here's usually where, I don't know, I just work on emails, do podcast stuff, or just film something for YouTube. And there's some stuff I need to send back. There we got a little more outboard gear that needs to be repaired. And on the other side is the section with like cables. There's an old Wii down there, my old MacBook, my old G5, which is like still amazing. And this pretty much sums up this entire place. Now let's check out the old footage of it, because there's footage where this room was, there wasn't even a floor in here. We played golf on this floor because there were holes in it because it needed to be dried. The back absorbers, building them was insane. Building the back wall right here, it's like, this is all absorption. Like there's like 40 centimeters of absorbing material to cut all of the frequencies, like all of the sound that's hitting it, it's not bouncing back. Then there's the secret room. I'm not going, of course, to show it, that's secret. Maybe one day I'll tell you what's inside. Up here, this room didn't change that much. We just made sure to fix all of the holes in the wall and paint it white again. We got here a desk to have lunch, a nice couch that is very, very comfortable, table. And another thing missing is a screen over there to play some PlayStation, but we anyways never have time to play anything, so it's maybe good that we don't have it. Beer, of course, always enough. Germany, we need our beer. This right here is the kitchen. I absolutely love it, the black finish. I maybe should have cleaned it before showing it to you, but it's all you need in a kitchen. Spices, we got a dishwasher, a nice sink, a coffee machine with a lot of coffee, and of course some booze. Also something I want to point out is the art here in the studio. Like this is all made by my parents. This by my mom, she's doing cutouts, so everything you see is cut out. Here in this room we got 2 more. Really nice stuff. Don't ask me how long it takes to cut this out of paper. You see every little detail is cut. If you make one mistake, that's it, it's ruined. There's no Command Z to just undo it. The hallway, not that exciting. There's not much that changed here, it's just painted. And there's still a ton of reverb. I was thinking about like putting photos up here of every person that comes to the studio, but I never actually started it. This door right here is the entrance door, highly, highly secured, of course. Behind me is the B studio, we'll get to it later. Here on this wall is a picture of my old studio. It was just one room, everything I needed in there. Still sometimes miss it, but now with, of course, employing people, I just needed more space. This right here is the office. We got our big table tennis, aka conference table. The Accents logo up on the wall, and that's usually where we mainly sit to take care of business stuff. As you know, I absolutely hate business stuff, but doing it in here helps a little, because again, I got this nice window right next to me with that amazing view. We store all of the text stuff in there, receipts, more text stuff, contracts, and all this kind of bullshit. This entire wall displays art by my dad. He's doing this oil on canvas stuff with a lot of oil. Like, these layers are really, really thick. It feels like yesterday when I first entered here, and like first, this was the room that was done the earliest, so all of my stuff was in here. It just looked so chaotic. Right there is the bathroom. Nothing too exciting. Entering now the B studio, and someone forgot to turn off the light. Anyways, that's like the disco room, because I think it's obvious. I absolutely love this room. It's just like the room between the office and the hallway to the B studio. So you have to pass by to actually enter the B studio. It's smaller, it's like a quarter of the size. The back wall right there was so much work, like an insane amount of work. There's even more absorption than upstairs. It's more than half a meter of that wall is actually missing. It's all absorbing material, plus getting the diffuser in there that is heavy as hell. Wow, that was so much work. And we got a nice couch, chilled, relaxed, the casting couch where we have like, I mean, you know what? Then on the other side, my table that I built myself with the keyboard inside. This one is so heavy, it's like heavy weighted keys. It feels like a real piano, so that I had to construct something to actually close on top, because moving the keyboard is impossible. The table would just like collapse and fall to the front. We got here Eve speakers again, the 407, and Adam speakers, a nice sound card connecting everything, and also having a connection and a talkback mic to the vocal booth. Whee! Speaking of the vocal booth, by far the hardest room to get right. Like, this room is all around absorption. Let me maybe close the door. So now it's 100% silent in here, except for me, of course. Yeah, there's nothing you can hear. No sounds from the outside disturbing. 360 all around absorption between like 40 centimeters to around 20. The only thing missing is the ceiling, unfortunately. We didn't like manage to take care of it, but it still sounds amazing in here. The wall to the B studio was the most work by far in the entire studio. We got on the other side triple glass, and here again triple glass, so it's 6 times glass and like 40 centimeters in between of an air gap, and it's all 100% sealed. We got here the connection to the other side to connect whatever we want to record, and half of our mic selection is here. I still need to find a proper place to like put the mics, and the rest of the mics are upstairs. And like the before shot of the vocal booth, it's insane. Like, there's like so much construction behind it. Like, getting all of the fabric onto it was so painful. And there's one thing where I gave up on here in the studio, and that's actually this. I mean, you can still see it, it's plain. This was actually meant to be movable, to open the window in case you need some fresh air. But first of all, the construction isn't that good. That's my fault. It doesn't really move. There are wheels underneath, but it didn't work out because this is way too heavy. And I did this on the last day after 4 months of construction, and was very like stressed out. So that was actually the day that I got this scarf right here on my thumb. It reminds me every day of how much work went into the studio. But yeah, I used the saw the wrong way and cut my finger heavily. But I mean, was still worth it. So this concludes the tour of my studio. I hope you liked it. I hope you like the studio. It's not a multi-million-dollar LA fancy studio. It's a very practical DIY studio that I've built with all of the people that helped me. So a huge thanks goes out to them. Without them, this wouldn't be possible at all. If you want to check out the entire building process, like step by step, it's all here on this channel. I do a vlog every day, as you know, so every day is on this channel for the past 4 years. So if you want to go check it out, follow my entire career as a DJ and producer, it's all up here on YouTube. And I had to get this studio tour out of the way to make room for the most epic studio on this planet. Here's a picture. that's exactly the studio I will check out tomorrow. I hope you'll tune in, because it's really by far the most epic studio on this planet. And I can't wait to go there and check it out myself in person, and of course take you with me. So see you again tomorrow, and yeah, that's it. That's my studio. There's still some things missing, but in general, all in all, I'm absolutely happy to have this place. And a huge thanks again to everyone that supports me, helps me, and makes this dream come to reality. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Anyways, sign up.